For obvious reasons, I want to talk about Doc Ock. He's on everyone's mind now that the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer has dropped. Spoilers, but it seems pretty unavoidable that everyone has seen that Alfred Molina is coming back as Doc Ock in the new movie. And to me, I thought it would be a great opportunity to talk about Spider-Man 2, and why Alfred Molina's Doc Ock is the best Spider-Man villain we have ever had. And for me, I think even deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of comic book villains. As much as I love you and you and you and you, not you. No. Doc Ock sets the bar in Spider-Man 2 for not just what a Spider-Man villain should be, but villains in general. So let's talk about why. And to do that, let's rewind to the first Spider-Man movie. My mom put on her low-rise jeans and Dad put on his entirely denim outfit to drive down to the Blockbuster Video and rent Spider-Man. It's 2002. I'm trying to say it's 2002. I was 8 years old. And while I really enjoyed the first Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man doing Spider-Man things, Willem Dafoe doing his best Gary Busey impression.
You killed them. We killed them. You get me quick.
I didn't entirely connect to it as much as you would expect an 8-year-old to connect to a Spider-Man movie. It might have had something to do with my mom covering my eyes with her hands anytime something violent happened. But now fast forward 2 years, I am now a big and tough 10-year-old experienced in the ways of the world and ready for some PG-13 comic book violence when Spider-Man 2 hit theaters. So I feel like my first real Spider-Man experience, or superhero experience for that matter, was with Spider-Man 2. So this is a long-winded way of saying I am biased. I'm totally willing to admit that I've got a ton of nostalgia talking here. But I think this is worth noting that as a 10-year-old, I came out of that movie, drove to Walmart, and didn't want the Spider-Man action figure. I wanted the Doc Ock figure. I watched that movie and said, give me your finest plastic middle-aged British man, please. Side note, I couldn't afford the Doc Ock. He was like double the price of the Spider-Man figure, so I guess they charge by the arm. So I was forced to play with the hero. But anyway, I think the mind of 10-year-old me actually says a lot about Spider-Man 2. We have some great Spider-Man stuff, of course, but when you think about your favorite moments in the movie, it is all Doc Ock stuff, or at least mine is. When we think about some of the best villain experiences, Infinity War is a Thanos movie. The Dark Knight is a Joker movie. And Spider-Man 2 is a Doc Ock movie. The focus on Doc Ock is actually really important to why this movie is as good as it is. I think that's because of the story, Doc Ock's character, which is a shift from how he is in the comics, from what I understand. The focus on him as a character is really important, and we'll get to that in a second. But not just that, Ock is just cool. His uniqueness of form is something that makes him instantly recognizable and differentiates him from every other comic book character. As much as I love a lot of the other Spider-Man villains, which Spider-Man has one of the best lineup of villains in all of comic books, Doc Ock is still extremely unique even among this lineup. Most of the Spider-Man villains up to this point have been all dudes in suits. Some of them fly, some of them run around, actually most of them fly. But Doc Ock is different. The way that he moves, the way that he fights, his silhouette, everything about him is different and unique. And the movie, and this is a testament to Sam Raimi, perfectly uses this. You think about all the set-piece fights in this movie. They are all perfectly conducive to make the most of Octavius's unique fighting style. On the side of the building, in the harbor, the fight on the top of the subway, everything is perfect for showing off how cool this character is and how it's nothing like Spider-Man has faced before. But it's not just about the unique and cool factor. The other aspect of this is that this is just a great character. As kids, we were unknowingly exposed to a great tragic villain arc. Molina's portrayal of a man attempting to change the world, losing his wife, and then influenced by evil, and then ultimately giving up his life in the ultimate redemption, reminds us a lot of a certain other classic villain that is also one of my favorites. Darth Vader is the go-to example of a tragic villain arc, especially with the context of the prequels. That's 6 movies. Alfred Molina gets 1. And the character is still able to give us that fulfilling roller coaster of character that Vader gets in much, much more material. That, again, is probably a testament to Sam Raimi's great direction. But most of all, I think it shows how great Molina is in this role. He's a funny family man when he needs to be, a furious monster fueled by rage and grief, emotionless and closed off when it makes sense, and then tragically heroic at the end. I mean, this back and forth between Peter and Otto at the end is, like, genuinely moving. And all from the character work they did in this movie. No multi-movie build-up for this villain, which we've kind of become accustomed to. All of this takes a lot of skill to make work in just a 2-hour period, and Molina kills it. Otto Octavius brings not just some of the coolest character designs, but Alfred Molina brought a new layer of depth to this character that I don't think we've ever saw up till this point. And that is really important to me. I think that our favorite villains are always the ones with the most humanity, the most depth, enough that we can almost empathize, or if not understand, or even identify with their intentions, if not their methods. The Joker is really the outlier as far as villains that are pure evil. Most of our favorite villains have a touch of humanity in them, a touch of something that we could understand. And I feel like Spider-Man 2 is one of the earliest and best examples of a sympathetic, tragic villain arc in a comic book movie, which of course I think make the best villains. And even if you don't agree that he's the best, you have to agree that he laid the groundwork for what came after. And it's just so cool. Look at just the man, it's so cool. So this of course brings us to the trailer. As much as I am excited for his appearance, I'm a little nervous. I genuinely hope that the latest appearance of Doc Ock will live up to the legacy that this character has. And if anyone can do it, I think he can. He did it already. And I hope that this character gets the attention that it deserves. It certainly got that in Spider-Man 2. So I'm a bit worried, but overall, very excited for what I think is one of the greatest comic book villains of all time. And definitely the best Spider-Man villain. Doc Ock is up there with Heath Ledger's Joker and my mom's hand as some of the greatest comic book movie villains of all time. Thanks so much to everyone for watching. If you disagree, let me know. If I butchered this, let me know in the comments. This is kind of my first go at opinion stuff. I don't know. If you guys hate it, then maybe we'll do something else. But I don't know. I had fun. I'd love to do more videos like this. So if you guys like it, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'd love to do more. Let me know if you liked it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week.